It's not gonna
So
be.
civ drafting, as we saw uh, last weekend, is extremely important. You definitely at this skill level want to have the right civ for the right map to kind of give you that little bit of an edge to sort of propel you forward a tiny bit. So kind of diving into this a little bit. Um, who do you think got the better draft? I'm kind of looking at Deepshine and I'm seeing Japanese, which is great on, hybrid maps. Four Lakes comes to mind where Japanese is going to be particularly powerful. Ayyubids, a very powerful tempo civ. The bane of the latter for me in Byzantines. And Abbasid, I think that's a really solid draft to kind of come away from
Yeah,
with. And
yeah. I mean, you can't really argue with that. Definitely a very solid draft. Um, but on the other side, we do have Chinese and French, which are very good as well, especially if you're looking at the Pro Scout meta. Order of the Dragon can be a little bit of a wild card, I feel sometimes. Um, but I mean, it kind of, depending on the map and all that. But in general, also a pretty strong Civ, and then, with English, I mean, can't really go wrong with English, I guess. So, I don't know if I have a clear favorite in terms of the draft, but the good thing is we don't need to really wait on that because we can just jump right into the first match. So we see the maps that are outlined. So it's gonna be Dry Arabia or Four Lakes after that one. But we're starting off with Lakeside, which is one of the newer ladder maps. And here we
it looks like
go.
we have Ayyubids versus English, which I feel like is a very interesting matchup. If you go back to, maybe a season ago, I felt like this matchup leaned heavy in favor of English, but
Mm,
today, with the current meta, English has sort of fallen off a little bit. I think Ayyubids, it feels a little bit more even, flat to me, with how English is played today.
yeah, I could imagine. Like my opinion on that is that English doesn't really want to go for pro scouts as much as the other civs, and so it's maybe a little bit more difficult to let English shine and have their strengths being displayed. I don't know if that is something that we will see on this map. We see a lot of deer on the west side of the map, right next to the big mountain here. So this is definitely something that we will definitely, I would expect, see a lot of aggression here and a lot of attention on this side because the rest of the map is kind of empty. There's not really a whole lot. There's not a whole lot of wood to be had as well. But I mean, like, talking about the elephant in the room, we're having a big ass lake here in the middle with only two deep water fish nodes and then a little bit of shoreline. So we see Deepshine already going onto water here with one dock. Um, no dock on the other side here by Ezra so far.
Yeah, English isn't notorious for really wanting the dock. I'm sure it'll benefit English if they were to, but on the same token, English is kind of like, let me get to feudal age. Let me kind of get my farm transition done, and water boosts English, just not as much. Looking over at Deepshine, though, I do have to say, dock placements definitely could have been a lot closer to the one
Mm.
deep water fish that's on this side of the map. So it's a little far away, which is just going to delay how quickly those resources come in there. That boat has to travel a little bit further each time to drop off.
Yeah, I didn't see if there was like I could imagine that you didn't want to destroy the shoreline fish over here by placing the dock above it, and so maybe that's why she went all the way over here. But I'm not sure. Like, yeah, as you mentioned, it's a little bit of a travel time. It's still fine because the boats are fairly quick and stuff, and so they also gather quite a lot, and so they don't take too many trips. And overall, it's just a nice, slow trickling economy trickling in. Um, but yeah, it delays their timing a little bit. So Ayyubids, usually going for a faster castle play. Obviously, this at least for Dark Age to Feudal Age delays it a little bit, and then it will boost it. So overall, I still do expect a kind of fast castle here by Deepshine, but we see the Abbey of Kings coming up as the choice for English.
Yeah, this is a little bit of the meta. I think Ezra could have gained some tempo here with Council Hall if he wanted to apply feudal pressure, but, you know, Abbey of Kings kind of makes me think that Ezra is going to maybe try to mirror a fast castle, use the king to slow his opponent down, and get his castle age in a little bit sooner, but he's also now putting down a dock. And it looks like Ezra sort of sacrificed a couple of those shoreline fish here to get his dock as close as possible to his deep water fish, and that should help him get those resources in a little bit sooner. I think, and I find this very interesting. So the decision he made was to immediately go for the age up, sacrifice a little bit in the short term in terms of economy to get that king out as soon as possible, and then go for the dock play. And I gotta say, I kind of like it a little bit. He's going to be the first aggressor here. But Deepshine isn't too far behind. She's got her economic wing growth in queue, so she's going to take the 3 extra villagers, it looks like. And she's about a minute and 30 seconds away. You have an outpost coming up on this gold, so King likely not going to be able to find a tremendous amount of value. But Deepshine might have to pull her villager back from her dock, because that is a prime candidate for the king there to go after. It's about the only exposed villagers she has at this point in time.
Yeah, definitely. So we see that the base is kind of, you know, very condensed here for Deepshine. There's gold is pretty close inside the town center. The wood line is also very safe, and then it's kind of difficult to wiggle around here if you want to get in on from the north side. We're probably gonna see some walls even here. Yeah, there's the walls. So definitely not really a great angle of attack here for the king. Also, the vision is just like, yeah, there's no sneaking up on Ayyubids anytime soon. Um, but we also see that Deepshine sacrifice going on the berries for now. So usually you would see Ayyubids going on the berries pretty soon, if not even from the start. But we don't see any of that right now because the berries and the stone, they're
King
the
is coming
only
in.
exposed resources here.
King is coming in on that wall. King is going to get to the wall before it's completed. Deepshine sees it, pulls her villager back, but can't cancel that wall. So Ezra gets a little bit of value there, and there's a gaping hole in that wall. King is working his way towards the back side, but Deepshine has already pulled the villager, so she's safe there. Ezra's first galley ship, though, claims a victim in a fishing ship as they try to run away. And this is a little bit of a consequence of this faraway dock, right? If Deepshine wants to get naval arrow slits, it doesn't really protect the deep water fish because that dock is so far away, so she's going to have a harder time kind of contesting this water aggression than Ezra will. Ezra can probably just get naval arrow slits and continue gathering away on this deep water fish all he wants.
Yeah, pretty much. So the naval arrow slits, they have a little bit longer range actually than it is displayed here with the golden circle, and so yeah, he would actually be able to defend his deep water fish. We do have an archer ship here, a Dao coming out here by Deepshine, and I think also one of the reasons for the slower or delayed dock here for English is that Ayyubids could, if they choose to do so, go up really fast to the feudal age with the advancement culture wing, and then you're even more delayed if you already went on the dock, and then they will already have military ships out. And so I could imagine that that's what also played into the decision to not go for a dock immediately. The Hulk doing a lot of damage here, obviously, against the archer ship, against the Dao, and explosive Dao needs to be very careful here to not get sniped out.
Okay, so happening off screen was the funniest, like, musical chair game I have ever seen. King raiding Deepshine's woodline, one villager goes down, but that villager was trying to get that wall up and was positioned itself, because pathing is fantastic, on the wrong side of the wall, but he got the quick wall off, so the king then went all the way around, and the villager didn't actually lose his life there. It was a very interesting musical chairs moment.
Oh, that's
But
funny.
it looks like Ezra has pretty good control over the water right now. Not much Deepshine can really really do. But Deepshine is clearly going to Castle Age. She's pretty much in, I don't know, 30 seconds, 45 seconds, going to be picking which wing to go up with. She currently could use the Culture Wing advancement if she wanted. So he's a little far off. He's going to be stuck in Feudal for a while because he invested a lot on water. He's got 3 Hulks and 1 Galley.
Yeah, but I mean, I wouldn't even say it's stuck in feudal age because that's a lot of resources that you need for going up for the castle age. Um, and Deepshine is running out of food. Then he has she has the berries here, which really not accessible at the moment. She lost water, and so yes, she will hit castle age in a relatively soon time here. But how do you then go on and produce the desert raiders or the lancers? The desert the camel lancers, if you don't have any food left, because she's kind of low here and like no farm transition, no space to go for a farm transition anyway, and so I think it might actually cost her the game going for castle age that fast without having any kind of like backup solution.
I I'm gonna go ahead and disagree with you a little bit, only because she's going up with Culture Wing logistics. Those relics are going to disappear off the map, and if she can come away with 4 relics to 1, because the one that's on Ezra's side of the base, I think she'll be in a great position. She's 1 economic unit ahead already due to growth. That's a little bit even, because the king got a couple kills here. Camel Lancers are going to start coming out, and Ezra, he'll get up to Castle Age probably in a short time afterwards, but I don't think he'll be able to contest those 3 relics. She's going to have 3 dervishes just pop out, and those 3 contestable relics are going to be gone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously she will get all the relics or most of them. That's fine, but that kind of reminds me of a certain French king who said, let them eat cake because the people didn't have bread to eat, and uh, I don't know if like the gold alone is not gonna like how do you get back into like a little bit of farm transition here, but I don't know if that's gonna be enough to sustain a reasonable amount of military here for him. For Deepshine, so
Uh, if she would just queue up a couple of Camel Lancers, she would be fine. She'll have access to her berries back. She also has the opportunity to kind of trap the king a little bit on her side of the map. Make sure he can't get away with a couple walls here. Alright, so now we have the Camel Lancers in queue. Ezra is going up with the White Tower here. So here's the real question. Does Ezra go for an immediate second town center here? Or is he just going to be happy with control of water, kind of, staying on 1 TC? Because I feel like this is the perfect timing for English to just drop in a second TC.
yeah, I'm actually a little bit surprised that Ezra went for the White Tower instead of the King's Palace. So if the water would be a little bit different, if there would be more deep water fish, I would say it's fine to not have a second TC and you just scale more or less infinitely on water. But since that is not possible on a map like Lakeside, I would say you kind of at some point still want to have a second TC. So yeah, I would say it's a good timing now to go for a second TC. At the same time, now is a good time to also punish the non-existent food eco here from Deepshine. We're gonna see how she will fare in a couple minutes because yeah, like if you're looking at the income here, that's not really looking too great.
Sure, but she has possession of 4 relics, which is really important. She can pull a couple off gold at this point in time and send them out to food. Camel Lancer is closing in on this king, and Dervish is going to kind of get away here. Wolf is, helping him out as much as he possibly can, but he doesn't do a lot to a king. And king is going to run away to the galley and to the Hulk, and that is actually going to allow him to be able to win the fight against this Camel Lancer. Ezra could send over a cheeky transport ship to save his king, actually. That is one way out for his king.
That is definitely one. I mean, he could. No, I guess that window just closed, so he cannot really go, like right next to here. So, yeah, a sneaky transport ship could be an option to get the king back. Doesn't have anything like that at the moment. But I mean, yeah, it's looking fine. He just controlled water. That's a good way for him to scale his eco just a little bit. But yeah, the longer the game goes, the more I think Deepshine is coming back into the game here with more and more food. Eco with the farm position now has control of the berries again. He's actually trying to wall out the king. That's super funny. I love that.
King might go down here though. Ah, those lancers just can't get close enough. That ever so slight speed advantage of the 169 has the king just running in circles, charge coming in, gonna try to get him. Still not going down. This king is absorbing a lot of Deepshine's APM.
Yeah, but I mean, eventually he will fall because the Lancers will have one more charge, and that's it for the king. But yeah, very very survival king here. That's funny to see.
Alright, so Deepshine's gonna wall off his back. She doesn't want any cheeky, sneaky raids coming in from the backside there. And her farm transition is looking slightly okay. We have Ezra coming in with some horsemen. Still feudal age. Horsemen are great at countering desert raiders and archers, but Deepshine has a lot of camel lancers.
Yes, and not really helping a whole lot against the camel lancers. Will be nice against the archers, of course, but this does need to find a way against the camel lancers. Crossbows is a good choice against them, but that alone might not be enough.
You need a front line. You need something up front to sort of absorb all the damage. Crossbows, high DPS unit, but not going to get it done by themselves. And these camel lancers are also traveling with the dervish, so it looks like Deepshine wants to kind of grab the sacred sites here.
Yeah, and I mean, why wouldn't you? Like, it's two sacred sites. They're pretty much in the middle of the map here. Nice little raid coming in here by Ezra. Not able to kill anything as far as I can tell. So hitting the archer dangerously low, but then again you have the dervishes with a healing aura, so that's very nice. And so a good defensive position here by the Ayyubids. And yeah, a lot of gold in the bank because of all the relics. I'm a little bit confused. Is there even a fifth relic on that map? Because usually it is, 3 relics per map and then 1 per player, but it doesn't look like there's a 5th one on here, right? No.
There's a 5th. Deepshine has 4. Ezra
never mind. Yeah, I'm blind. Never mind me.
That's fine. Deepshine has bows, which are going to do well against these crossbows, but she might want to add some horsemen in. We can probably get some horsemen in the near future to kind of, tank a little bit. Camel lancers are not alone going to do this. And look at that. Look at how much gold Deepshine is floating.
Wow.
On just relics. She's got 12 down here on gold, but she should probably take that off, stick them on deer for a little bit, because she's got more than enough gold, and she's moving them over to wood. That's perfectly fine as well.
Yeah, so it's gonna be just those 5 here on gold, but that definitely will be fine in combination with 4 relics and 1 sacred site also. Gonna be some very nice gold income here for Deepshine. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't offended when you disagreed with me, and you proved to be right. She's in a very good position right now, and she did survive that a little bit tricky situation where she didn't have a really food eco going on, but she survived, and now it's looking fine for Ayyubids here.
Yeah, and she just got Sultan's Mameluke, I believe is what it's called, tech in, so it's going to boost the infantry around her camel lancers here. So, a little bit of a formidable comp here, especially with those upgrades in. Yeah,
and she is moving in now here. There is not a tower yet, so no attack speed for the English rather. And a little bit of a fight here. Dervishes on the front line are going to lose their life. That is very costly and unfortunate. But now horsemen cannot really contest with the camel lancers, obviously, and now need to get on top of the crossbows, but can't really get past the horsemen. And
He's
the
doing
tower's
a
up.
really good job just sniping down some of those crossbows, but there's just too many crossbows. And she doesn't have enough of a front line to really stay and fight under that tower, so she slowly retreats back.
Yeah, and slowly is the key word. She will not really get out alive here. The archers cannot get away from the horsemen. She needs to save the lancers somehow. But very low on health here, and we do have one more dervish somewhere, but not helping the army here. And yeah, just sacrificing and abandoning the archers here. And all of a sudden, so the army value, she was a little bit behind English, like 3,000 to 4,000, but now it is way in favor for English. So that was a bad read of the situation here, I think. She wanted to punish, I think, the tower being constructed, but wasn't really able to do a whole lot here. Now we see a couple more outposts coming in for the English, just having a little bit of a network here, closely, almost overlapping here, and that's basically gonna extend into the base of Deepshine.
Yeah, if that outpost gets up, it might provide some visibility over these 15 villagers here that are chopping wood. Also, the bitey infantry, the wolf, is doing his thing over there, working on a villager. Deepshine tries to sneak some lancers around the side, maybe get a cheeky little raid in, but she is repelled there. Some shots by this Hulk. Ezra has a lot of line of sight. He can kind of see. Deepshine kind of cordoned off into her base right now, not able to break out. And once this outpost goes up, I think Ezra's going to see that wood line, and I don't know how Deepshine is going to defend it.
No,
without the outpost, he's moving in anyway. Gonna just burn the spring tower. Mangonel, though, first shot fired. A little bit of a miss here. Spearmen are kind of coming in. Horsemen pull away. Men-at-arms doing a lot against those spearmen. Camel lancers coming around the sides here, but it's just too many crossbows. Not enough of them.
Yeah,
Horsemen trying to kind of work their way.
Just one-shotting the dervish as well, so that is looking tough. Front line here for English almost gone, but still a couple men-at-arms staying strong, killing the Mangonel as well. And now Ezra is onto the villagers, killed like 3 villagers here, and now the other ones have to run here. Wolf following suit, but that is looking very grim here. Losing a lot of villagers here on Deepshine's side. A lot of idle as well, just in the tower and in the town center here. And still the strongbows are standing strong here. Horsemen were on the back trying to raid a little bit.
Yeah, I think Ezra was assuming Deepshine would be in the back on that wood that's back there, but she was not. So Deepshine gets a little bit of a reprieve, but kind of, as you alluded to earlier, that food income got idled out a lot. She doesn't have a lot of food per minute to replenish her army. She's behind in the economy count as well, and this is just going from bad to worse. She's trying to get this Manganique up, but crossbows are just gonna, push that off. And whew. All right, Ezra just some clean timings, and just had a sixth sense on when to kind of push in there and absolutely take advantage of some of the exposed villagers and resources of Deepshine there.
Yeah, I mean you can see like very even game in terms of villagers. Not a whole lot happening here. Obviously, both bases are very condensed on this map, and then the lake in the middle is kind of preventing a lot of flanking options. But this just one fight here where Deepshine took a bad read and then lost most of her front line. Was just too brutal to recover from that. And then Ezra's eco at that point very strong already, just spiking up and securing a win just with one bad fight. That's let's just take a quick look at the resources as well. So very even. Like overall, like Ayyubids very strong, very defensive, and then losing your army, losing the game. Very, very bad.
Yeah, I think Deepshine put herself in a great position. I like a lot of the decisions she made, scooping all those relics, but just when it mattered most, didn't have the production, wasn't able to field a large enough army to sort of push Ezra back and really take advantage of those early advantages she had.
Yeah. And if you're looking at the gold and food difference here, I mean, yeah, obviously with the 4 relics, very nicely done. A ton of gold to work with, but the food income was so different. It was like 7,000 or 6.5, yeah, a little close to 6,500 more for Ezra here. And you could tell by just the amount of units that he had. Like, yeah, he was lacking a little bit more in gold compared to Deepshine, but if you don't have any food, you cannot produce units. We've seen that time and time again. So, okay, well, I
So
mean,
now we
a good first game here for this first best of 3 series. Sorry for the overlay that got butchered a little bit here. I don't know exactly why, but it should be fixed now. So let us update the score real quick. So Deepshine, no, not sorry, not Deepshine. Ezra taking a good first win here with the English against the Ayyubids on Lakeside. Should be correct now. Yep. All right. Let's see. We should have the second draft out by now.
Let me take a look.
Okay, so it should be on Dry Arabia. So I believe the overlay is already correct. And yeah, so the draft here is a little bit. Apparently they had issues with draft. So it's not gonna be what Captain's Mode is telling us. Let's see. So it's gonna be Dry Arabia, and it
So it
is.
looks like Ezra was trying to pick China,
Yeah.
but somehow it just wasn't working and it auto-selected random, which is not correct.
Yes.
So we're gonna get China versus Byzantines, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep. It's gonna be China versus Byzantines. So he randomed Rus, but obviously doesn't have Rus in his pocket anyway. So obviously couldn't play with Rus. So it's gonna be Dry Arabia, China versus Byzantines. So let us see if we already have. Oh, I need to invite you first. And
And on Dry Arabia, I feel like China has a little bit of an advantage going into this matchup. Pro Scouts is extremely powerful at the moment, and China is one of the top Pro Scout civs, just because of the IOs and how quickly the research can get in, how quickly they can get scouts in. Also, Song Dynasty in some matchups allows China to open 2 scouts and grab additional sheep here. We'll see what Ezra chooses to kind of do, but I think China can open 2 scouts here and sort of win the sheep count war. Not that Byzantine minds a ton. Byzantines really wants to go for the berries, but China just kind of a little bit of a powerhouse at the moment.
yeah, yeah, definitely. And so it's gonna be interesting. I wouldn't. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't counter or count Byzantines out as of yet. So we're in the game. Deepshine in yellow, playing the Byzantines on the left side against Ezra, who won the first game, playing the Chinese rather, in red. So overlay is working. Score looks fine. So we are good off to a good start. Mill is being placed here immediately, obviously, getting some nice taxes in as well. He's not gonna go for an IO immediately, obviously, so I would, the usual thing, if I'm not mistaken, would be the Imperial Academy, and then producing IOs from there.
You would be correct. Current meta would be straight villager opening or second scout opening, depending on the matchup, into Imperial Academy, into Pro Scouts. But kind of looking at this, I mean, the deer spawn that Ezra got, that's a really nice deer spawn. Looking at Deepshine's deer spawn, I mean, those are some deer that can be absolutely pro scouted. So Ezra's got to have a little smirk on his face once he's done kind of scouting. He did scout one deer pack, and he's wheeling around towards the other now. And those Chinese scouts, man, the amount of line of sight they get, it's just amazing.
Yeah, that's a
They
good
can see
point that you're pointing out with the Tang Dynasty. You know, getting a little bit extra line of. I mean, a little bit. It's like 30%. That's actually quite a lot. You know, so very nice actually to scout with them in the beginning. He didn't find the two deer packs over here yet, but yeah, very close to his base. And the other ones are kind of also forward towards Deepshine's base. So not really, shouldn't be too difficult. Let's put it that way. To get them. At the same time, I have to say I do love Deepshine's base as well. Very nice cistern here. You know, buffing, stone, gold, berries. Obviously the trees, three trackless trees. Oh my goodness, that was difficult. As well as with the sheep here in his base, or in her base rather. A very safe Grand Winery, sadly, unfortunately, losing a couple of spots for the olive groves, but very safe for sure. So that should be a very nice eco that she will be able to secure very soon. And then it's kind of the question if, I mean, Pro Scout's very strong, obviously, but you should be fine with, like, and happy with that anyway as well.
Yeah, I think one little missed detail that Deepshine has in her pocket, if you take a look at that South Neutral, it has the best mercenary unit, I think, available to her in Royal Knights.
Yeah.
And if she scouts that, and she gets herself some Royal Knights, which she has not scouted it just yet, that would be exactly what she needs to kind of help delay, deny, stop some of what is likely to be Ezra's pro scout shenanigans. Another little detail, I saw Ezra drop off 10 sheep, and I saw Deepshine drop off 2 sheep. So food-wise, Deepshine's gonna need to do something to feed her people and put a military on the field, because she did not win the sheep war.
Yeah, no, she definitely didn't win that war for sure. And the thing is, so Byzantines, yeah, they don't care as much about sheep, but I mean that obviously doesn't mean that you don't want to find sheep at all. Plus, you know, not to mention that any sheep that you find is one sheep that your opponent will not have. So might have to go a little bit more onto wood initially, and then set up the farms, the olive groves. That could be, you know, that could be her priority for now. Putting 8 villagers on the barriers right now, so not all of them. The split is now a little bit more onto wood, so it kind of indicates that she is planning to either more invest into military soon, or just go on wood more and then build up some olive groves here. The other berries that she has available is like way in the front, that like she would have to have map control to get to them. And then she has some close to the market, which she didn't scout out as of yet. So for now, it's kind of like a very empty map for her. And so I guess staying in her base more or less for the next few minutes might be a safe option for her.
So I like what she's doing with her scout over I think it was yesterday or the day before. She had some of her coaching sessions with her coach kind of live streamed a little bit. And one of the things that was pointed out is spending more time with your scout at the opponent's base. So you can kind of see your scout kind of hanging out there, watching exactly what Ezra's doing. So she knows the pro scouts are coming in, the sheep or deer are starting to come in, and those Limitane are making their way across the map to try to slow down Ezra's pro scouting a little bit.
Yeah, speaking of pro scouts, I mean, we're at 5 and then one more in queue, so Limitani, a very good option, very strong. Also, yeah, not super fast. Obviously, it's an infantry unit, but with the you know, penalty that the scouts receive, there's quite a notable difference here in terms of move speed. So should be able to if he finds, if she finds, yeah, okay, she locked onto the target here and should be able to get some nice hits in here. Maybe even has to drop the deer at some point. We're gonna see that. But yeah, even though the penalty got increased from 35 to 40%, scouts still, yeah, making their way over. Could drop the deer now, actually, but one more hit and ooh, that was a very close call here. But with the archers in response already, so Limitani, even with the shield wall, would have to run for now.
We do have the first batch of longbowmen kind of coming in. Longbowmen are a little slow though, so it's going to take them a while to make their way across the field once they eventually pop out here in another 35-36 seconds. Limitane being pushed back by this archer though. And let me see if Deepshine Scout did not fully scout south. She does not know about the Royal Knights being available to her at her own very safe neutral. Little bit of unfortunateness right there. I'd love to see some Royal Knights because they'll have a field day with these archers, they'll have a field day with horsemen.
Yeah, yeah, and also the thing, what's really cool is with the mercenaries that you get from the neutral market, they also, you do also get the unique tags. So for example, with the chivalry, you can get that. I'm not 100% sure if it's in feudal or if you get that in Castle Age, but you do get things like the chivalry or the royal bloodlines even. At some point with them, so they're very, very strong, and especially since she opted for the longbows, she doesn't have any access to armored units in feudal age because of that. And so I would love to see some longbow royal knight action. I mean, obviously you would need to have a lot of oil income, which is just slowly building it up. It's looking fine so far. Again, losing a little bit of spot or space here. That's, yeah, just how it is.
Her line of sight, man. She just barely didn't scout the neutrals. I don't think it's going to be on her radar. I don't think we're going to get the Royal Knights. I love the Royal Knights.
But I mean, okay,
but
she needs to know that the market is here, because it needs to be somewhere on that line, and it's definitely not gonna be here. So she needs, like, I mean, she must know. She must know that it's here, like, right? I mean, there is no way that she doesn't know that it is here, even though she doesn't see it.
Yeah, I don't think that's the #1 most pressing concern right now. She's very focused on, keeping her deer packs close to her base. Ezra is moving his scouts out though. He's going for her deer pack. We're gonna probably see some Mission Impossible heists right here, because there's a couple Limitane there defending.
Yeah, so but I mean it's a lot of the scouts here as well. Getting one scout, so that's valuable. So might have to find a different angle here with the remaining 5 scouts. There's one more somewhere, but yeah, a little bit of a wall coming up here. So she did. I mean, okay. So if she builds a house somewhere here, Wolfgang in here on the action as well, and then with the border. What's it called again? Where are they? Oh, she already yeah, okay. So she researched that, so she will just have to build a house and then she knows about it. Oh, that's okay. Finally, we see the trade post being discovered here. Revealed. Oh my, yeah. But scouts, they also find out about that, so the walls are very important to keep that base, the back of the base safe for now. Astronomical clock tower coming up here for Ezra, so he's reaching the castle age quickly. And then he's in a very good position again, so both gold veins actually very secure here. If he wants to go for them, the berries are also safe. I would have loved to have actually a little bit more aggressive positioning of the Barbican. And then just a ton of deer. I mean, basically got all the deer on the map. Yeah, with a little bit of a, like shenanigans, he can actually pull one of the Limitani and then take the deer at some point. So should be able to still get the majority of the deer.
Yeah, I mean, Ezra is playing this right. He's sort of splitting his scouts up and making the Limptani go in all different directions to protect his deer pack. You see one deer, on the back of a scout, so he did snipe one. And he's just going to continue making this a focal point because as long as Deepshine is focused on these deer packs, she's not at his base.
Yeah.
He's free to do whatever he wants. He's in Castle Age now. So he has a lot of options available to him. We got an archery range coming down. We're probably going to get the Juganu, Nest of Bees, and I'm going to assume Lancers at some point. Once he kind of gets a little bit more on gold, and that's a pretty nasty comp. On the other side, Deepshine, sticking with the infantry, longbows, Limitane, nothing wrong with that. Longbows do wonders against Juganu. Limitane will work against the Knights, so she has an effective unit comp here that she can absolutely fight Ezra with. Question is, when are they going to fight, right? Both players building up a little bit. 12 minutes into this game hasn't been the most action-packed.
No, but I mean that's what you kind of expect from these current Pro Scout matters. Is both players just having their back and forth on the deer, trying to secure it. Deepshine doing a good job actually with securing those 2 deer packs, and most of them are still here. So that's at least a small win for her. She also reached Castle Age now with the Golden Horn Tower over here. So will produce some nice free mercenary units. Did that? No. Okay, let's.
I'm actually kind of curious. Will that Golden Horn Tower? That doesn't count now? It
no.
Can't get her access to the royal.
No, that was what I was wondering if it would get access, but doesn't do that. So if we're checking the mercenary house, there's no more. Usually you would see those 2, the Royal Knights and then what's the Horse Archers? Horse Archers. You would see that below, but it's not accessible. That would be very good. But she does have the sister here, so maybe like once the bears run out, she could just drop a mercenary house over here. She has the increased production speed with Conscriptio, and then she has access to the trade post. A Vololo attempt here, not gonna be successful. So those 2 Limitani might actually be able to snipe that monk.
Yeah, but there's Chuganus on their 6, kind of coming up in a flanking position here with a Palace Guard. I do like that. So Priest has to drop the relic to try to save his life. Unfortunately, Priest does go down, and these 2 Limitane are food for slaughter. They're just not gonna live very long.
No, but I mean they did everything that they needed to do. I mean losing a monk, that is quite nice. It does take 150 gold away from your opponent, and now they might actually get another one here. So that's 300 gold just like that. So a good, like Limitani, they're not super cheap, but that was definitely very valuable here. By the way, I need to fix my overlay of the team colors here. That's awful. I don't even know why that is on, but I'll do that after the game.
Yep. So Deepshine has kind of scouted out the unit comp. Those 2 Limitane, their sacrifice was not in vain. Deepshine got a lot of information. She noticed that Palace Guards are coming out and not Lancers. So you see her switching into Varangian Guard and crossbows instead. And now all of a sudden she's got this really well-rounded comp here. Whether it's, the longbows that can snipe out the Chuganus, crossbows to counter out the Palace Guards. She's in a really good position to kind of make a push.
Yeah, definitely, and so I like what she did with the Limitani killing 2 monks. That's always very nice, and also getting some relics on her own, which means she will have 3 relics inside the Grand Winery, which is some very nice oil income. Another 240 oil for her per minute. So yeah, I don't see. I mean, it's kind of even compared to, if you think about how well Ezra got away with the Pro Scouts, it's still looking fairly even, I would say, for both players.
I think she has a window, and that window is right here, right now. Ezra's in the middle of a granary transition. You can see that going on the north side of her base. She has, you know, a unit advantage right now. I know if you look at army resources, it's not properly calculating the olive oil. She's got a military advantage right now. She needs to kind of press it. The longer this game goes on, China's in Song Dynasty. They're just gonna little by little get an economic advantage, and you know, now's her time. Ezra doing her a little bit of a favor. He's pushing out here though. If he continues to push out, he's not gonna like what he finds, and Deepshine a little. They're inching towards each other, little by little.
Yeah, definitely, and so yeah, a good point with the army value that the oil doesn't really properly get counted for that. Both armies kind of moving towards each other. Military upgrades very even for both players, and so
We're gonna have the first clash.
should be a very close fight here actually. Both players moving in now, but Deepshine is retreating again. Doesn't really want to commit too hard against the palace guards, although the Varangian guards should be fine in dealing with them, and a lot of archers on the backside. Nest of bees firing away, getting some nice shots in here as well. Oh, that is costly.
I really like spread formation right here. Hopefully she's able to not let these Nest of Bees shots do too much, and a little Nest of Bees getting a lot of value here, and she's got a lot of units just sitting at her base that she needs to bring up. Gonna retreat a little bit. Ezra's gonna have to lick his wounds there. But Deepshine's coming with more Varangian Guard and more crossbows, and you got some Varangian Guards gonna try to flank and get these Nest of Bees. One Varangian Guard going right for it. And I think this is a good window for her.
Ooh, look at that. Oh my goodness. Yeah, so this is the moment where you would love to have some horsemen or cataphracts, which, you know, with their trample ability, they can just mow over everything and then they're right on top of siege. But like with the slow infantry composition, which is, yeah, pretty typical and standard for most Byzantine matches, is difficult to get on top of the siege actually.
Lance Connect's doing a wonderful job kind of going after these clock tower Nest of Bees, which are really tanky here, and if she just continues to rally her forces here, she might be able to, but no. Pulling back a little bit here, and I think Ezra's coming out on top because the most valuable resource he gets more of, which is time. He just traded out very efficiently into Deepshine's army right there. And the more and more time that goes on, the more and more this granary transition pays off, and the more and more that Byzantine eco just slowly falls behind. Deepshine continuing to kind of push forward, maybe senses an advantage here a little bit.
Yeah, and also
picked off one bill.
Didn't lose any of the Nest of Bees, so because of the clock tower, you know, having more health, he could actually just pull them back and repair them if he wants to, and yeah, both players on 1 TC only as far as I can tell, so but Ezra did get ahead because of the Song Dynasty, and so Deepshine should at some point, I guess, look for a second TC here. She's on stone. So we might see a lot of stone actually. So we could see a second TC coming up very soon.
See a keep. We could see a lot of different directions she goes with this, and it is a keep over on the west side of the map. It looks like.
Yeah, but that's you know, that's an Ezra keep. It's not from Deepshine, so she will not like that.
Is that Ezra?
Yeah.
Oh, that is Ezra. Never mind.
So that's a very aggressive keep here by Ezra, securing 12,000 gold in the process. So if that goes up, that's a very nice, you know, fighting point here for Ezra. And Deepshine losing a couple of units here just because of the rally points and just you know, slowly trickling in units. So needs to be careful that she groups her units before she marches out to fight. First sacred site being taken as well.
Yeah, Ezra kind of moving out to secure this western flank here. Chinese keeps are a little bit of a nuisance there. They have triple cannons on them, but Deepshine sort of scouts this out a little bit. Looks like she's still going to press up the middle, though. Longbows taking shots at palace guards. Nest of V's kind of hitting home. Deepshine forced to pull back. Varangian Garden crossbows coming over, and it's going to be a huge fight, but I think this keep is going to get up in time. I don't think Deepshine can deny it.
Yeah, there's no way for
Nest of
Deepshine to deny that, even though it's only a couple villagers. Just doesn't have the numbers. Would need to have a couple of horsemen or otherwise, you know, cavalry to move on to that. And so where's Overlay?
Is at home. Most of her military is left at home. She's moving into this keep. This is an impressive keep. The triple hand cannons, 27 damage a shot.
Ooh.
Not something you want to fight into, especially with Nest of Bees on the backside here. And Ezra is in a very comfortable position right now.
Yeah, definitely. So just running away with the eco here, even though still only on 1 TC. That keep is very valuable for sure. Also, in a way, almost securing this other sacred site here as well because of the positioning. Difficult to maneuver around that. So it has two sacreds, or one sacred site right now, which got just neutralized. But yeah, overall in a good position. Nest of Bees just doing a lot of damage onto these slow-moving units. Deepshine trying to go for a little bit of a surround here with the Limitani, getting one Nest of Bee down, but there's 3 more on Ezra's side.
Deepshine also has a lot of olive oil. Maybe it's a mechanic she's not as comfortable with. I know she's an HRE main. A little over 2,800 here. It's a lot of Royal Knights. It's a lot of Lance Connects you could have on the field. And Ezra is, I want to say, slowly losing this fight in the middle. It's really hard to tell. Deepshine finally moving up the reinforcements from her base to kind of help here. She's continuing to kind of win this fight little by little. Ezra's down to under 30 military units, mostly palace guards at this point. So Lance Connect, Limitane, and these crossbows are going to do works, and Ezra's got to pull back right here.
Yeah, so it didn't look good for Deepshine at first. There were still a couple of palace guards here, but palace guards, let's see, they're having a little bit fewer armor than the Varangian guards, and so actually will not be able to sustain longer fights. They're a little bit quicker. There they are. And so they're very good at, you know, getting on top of the infantry from Deepshine, but as soon as you're starting to really, you know, hit sword against shield, not doing as well as the Varangian guards. And so Deepshine pushing in a little bit here. Doesn't have any siege right now, so that definitely would be needed to get on, get the Barbican down. But should be able to find a little bit of eco damage in terms of destroying houses, but not really a lot of villagers on this side of the map.
Yeah, Ezra is built pretty tight. His exposed eco does have keeps around it. Barbican sort of acts as a front line for his granaries. So, very well dug in. You have trebuchets coming in from Deepshine, and that is nice to see. For a while, trebuchets were a little bit more of a meme unit here. If she can get enough gold, though, she could go for a really good im timing. So you see her moving out onto this deer pack. First Treb is on there, and I think she's going to take aim at this west side keep here first. All her military is sort of rallying back there. And once that tower goes up, she'll have line of sight, and the Treb can start working on this keep. You know what? Despite Song Dynasty, Deepshine's in a great position, I think.
Yeah, especially, I mean, you mentioned the im timing. She could look for that fairly soon. She is almost maxed out in pop, and so at some point she will actually go for the Imperial Age. We do have an Imperial Palace coming up. Where is that bad boy?
That's
There it is. So,
that's the H3 landmark. So
yeah.
Ezra's gonna progress from Song Dynasty. I guess he's kind of feeling comfortable with his 92 eco units, not really needing anymore, or not needing any more in a hurry. A small little group of Deepshines is making their way into the back by this granary transition. Might be able to pick off a villager or two as well. I don't see much from Ezra following, so they'll probably grab a villager or two there. Ezra's pushing out in the middle, definitely wants to kind of take this frontline position that Deepshine has with her tower. Mangonel emplacement coming up, but I don't think it's going to be in time, but she has more than enough military there to defend this position.
Yeah, she should be able to hold that here. Units moving in, a lot of crossbows here, and Shuganu rather, and crossbows on the back here for Ezra. But at the same time, we do have a lot of crossbows as well.
Nesta Bees are going to decide this one. If she can get to those Nesta Bees and take them out before they get too many good shots off. Nice pullback there from the crossbows. Oh, second Nesta Bee shot hits home though. Ezra's front line is gone though.
That was a brutal shot here by the other Nesta Bees. So the trebuchets, they were taken out, but almost finished the keep here. But frontline for Deepshine almost completely gone. The raid here got a couple of villager kills actually. So if we're looking at the villager numbers, it's almost even. Deepshine killed 16 villagers in this game, and Ezra wasn't able to find a single one. Needs to repair the keep for now. And Deepshine just took one of the sacred sites here on the top side, which will alert Ezra at some point of this position here. But in general, it's a good income here for his gold. And by the way, folks, once again, I'm really sorry about the team colors being switched on here. I have no idea why that happened. So Deepshine is playing in yellow, but the colors are of blue, even though the ball like the bars are yellow. So yeah, apologies. I don't know why that happened. Insert?
It's a new feature.
Oh!
Right? That's
Oh my
what we call
goodness. No, it's not a feature, it's definitely a bug. Thanks, Sass, for pointing out that you can actually switch it with the insert. I must have clicked that accidentally earlier on because position 1 is when I follow units and insert is right next to that. So that was probably just the misclick here. So yeah, professional observer right there. Yeah, thanks, Sass, for pointing that out. So we're back to how the balance has been restored. Deepshine playing in yellow with the yellow units, not blue anymore. Thank goodness we solved that issue.
Zero Siphon is burning away that keep. Ezra's military is moving to defend, and that Zero Siphon's not gonna last very long. This Mangonel Tower, critical shot there on those crossbows. And Ezra kind of pulls back a little bit, but this keep, Deepshine's still not able, doesn't have an answer for it. Can't take it down just yet. But we do have the Foreign Engineering Company, and with a little over 6,000 olive oil, we could see some French cannons here. We can see some Nesta Bees here. I love this. The Foreign Engineering Company, she's going to be able to field some siege that, rivals that of what Ezra can field.
Yeah, there you see the Royal Cannons are in queue indeed. I personally would have loved to see some Weiwei Pows as well with the amazing 18 tile range. But, just like the big brother of the trebuchets. But Royal Cannons obviously doing a ton of damage and being very mobile as well. So definitely a good choice here for Deepshine. And yeah, still has a ton of oil that she could use. And so I think the main issue that she had in the previous fights was always the Nest of Bees. So she was kind of winning every fight unless the Nest of Bees were able to land some nice shots on her units. And Imperial Age should make all that a little bit better just because of the health and extra armor that they will have once they're elite units. Ezra as well, reaching Imperial Age now.
Yeah, Great Wall Gatehouse coming up, sort of to protect this granary transition, and if Deepshine wants to raid this again, she's going to have to fight for it. Zero Siphon's going down in the front. Seems like she's kind of a little bit, you know, going for the kill here. Getting a lot of her upgrades in. Elite upgrades came in on Longbowmen, on her Mercenaries. Still waiting on the crossbows and the Limitane. But she'll eventually get those once she has enough gold here, and Royal Cannons are making quick work of the keep on the west side, and once they start moving forward, there's not a lot that's going to stop those Royal Cannons, especially with this sort of front and back line from Deepshine, and Ezra kind of struggling to put a military on the field. He's got 24 military units, mostly Palace Guards. He's sprinkling in some hand cannoneers.
Yeah, and so I mean you can see that Ezra has the issue now that even though he reached Imperial Age as well, he's obviously behind a couple minutes. And so while Deepshine already getting her upgrades in and then can march in, Ezra obviously doesn't want to fight right now because he's still waiting on his upgrades. And so that definitely gives Deepshine a little bit of a window here. And the Royal Cannons would also be very nice against the Nest of Bees. So the issue that I talked about earlier with the Nest of Bees being the deciders in the fight so far could be mitigated by the Royal Cannons.
Yeah, I mean, Ezra's just got to get something on the field right now. Little by little, Deepshine is closing in. She's sending a force around on the northwest side. They're going to be met with the Great Wall Gatehouse, so not sure they're going to be able to get too far in there. In the front here, Palace Guards are pushing forward with the Nest of Bees hand cannoneer backline, and Deepshine's forced to kind of kite backwards here. And I think she's now pulling out on her little raid on the northwest side, gonna focus her attention back up the middle here. But she's gonna lose a lot to these Palace Guards, and Ezra realizes that there's forces exposed on the west side. He's turning his attention over there. Royal Cannons are gonna get caught out though.
No! Ah,
it's
that's so bad. Oh no, that's so unfortunate. Why are the units not here? Oh, that is so unfortunate. Rest in peace, you little bombards, Royal Cannons, whatever. Ah, that is unfortunate.
Alright, Deepshine trying to squeak some infantry. She's doing a wonderful job with infantry. Villagers trying to quick wall and prevent these forces from getting around to the granary transition, so the Great Wall Gatehouse can continue to fire upon them. And ooh, shot after shot, kind of raining down there. A lot of damage. Palace Guards are going to clean this up real quick. Ezra takes some eco damage though. Some of those villagers were sacrificed to get the quick wall, but I'd say it was worth it. Another little scrimmage on the west side as well that Deepshine is going to win, and if she could just consolidate all of her forces and make one strong push up the middle, I think she's in a winning position.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there was a little bit of a sacrifice that was needed, but at the same time, it was still worth it for Deepshine. 38 villager kills so far. Over the whole game here, and so yeah, again, even though with the Song Dynasty and everything, and by the way, at some point Ezra did actually add in a second TC as well as Deepshine, so very even in terms of villagers. But then you also have the the cisterns with a 26% gather rate bonus here. So I would overall favor Deepshine here for maybe the last 10 minutes. She was in a good position, and as long as she has the army in one spot and can find a quick solution against the Nest of Bees, she should be winning the fights.
Yeah, I like her position. Also, one critical detail, she's putting a keep up on this west side where Ezra was previously grabbing. This keep should go up in time. She might lose a couple villagers here, but no big deal. Keep goes up. If the villagers garrison, it's a good fight for Deepshine. Streltsy have now joined the fight as well. Nest of Bees, though, continue to just be extremely punishing. Royal Cannons aren't able to get on them. Finally, they get one of them down. And I think it's costly, but I think Deepshine is going to hold here.
Yeah, she should be able to hold for sure, and now the Nest of Beasts are also exposed. So yeah, good shot here on the Nest of Beasts by the Royal Cannon. This one might even not go out alive here because of the Limitani chasing it, and then the Lance Connection maybe getting some nice connection here as well. So no Nest of Beasts here anymore for Ezra, so looking grim in terms of military numbers. Value is still up, but at the same time, as you mentioned earlier, the army value not really representing the olive oil.
Yeah, the army values looks like Ezra has a huge lead, but it's a lot closer than that might appear. Deepshine needs to get some production buildings down. The amount of resources she's floating, only because she can't start trading her military out and replenishing it just as fast as she needs to. And that's really kind of holding her back here.
Yeah, she doesn't have a single stable, 5 archer ranges, 5 barracks, and a couple, I believe, mercenary houses as well. Can't check that right now.
Ezra's on 11 barracks and 8 ranges, so he can replenish a lot faster than her, and when you get to this point in the game, being able to replenish your military is critical. Nice little Palace Guard raid coming in on her eco. Palace Guards just run away from everything. They move it lightning fast. They move at 158 here in the Yuan Dynasty, so anything short of knights can't catch up to them.
Yeah, pretty much. So super annoying to deal with for Deepshine. Has to, you know, put some attention on there as well, and then just fight them. Villagers being idle and also, yeah, in danger of losing their lives. 12 villager, 13 villager kills now by Ezra. So trying to even out the damage here, and he is ahead finally in villagers again. So very good raids here by Ezra, being able to just move into the base, because unlike Ezra, Deepshine doesn't have a full wall setup yet.
Yeah, and I think experience is kind of coming to show here. Ezra's, you know, little by little gaining advantage here. Palace Guard's just burning down this keep. Boiling oil, not really doing a lot to repel these Palace Guards, and the keep goes down. He's quick building his own keep right there, and it's just a situation where he can replenish faster.
Yeah, and you can tell.
Deepshine can.
You can definitely tell that. So Deepshine down to 150 pop, dropping heavily here. Just struggling to keep up the production. Actually, isn't producing anything right now, so I don't know what is going on there. And Ezra almost maxed out here, and slowly but surely is pushing forward, and that's like a third keep being produced or built here at that spot. So definitely a very contested gold vein over there. Having some bombards here as well for Ezra, so switching into some very heavy siege instead of the Nest of Beasts. It's still so annoying to raid these raids here. We see it actually in Nest of Beasts here by Deepshine as well. Although it is not the Clock Tower Nest of Beasts, so it is a little bit more squishy in terms of health.
Yeah, Deepshine, experience or lack thereof is kind of on display right here. She's at 124, 125 of 200. Meanwhile, Ezra's almost back at pop cap. Just kind of set himself up for a little bit of success in this late game here, and now you kind of see this is so annoying, right? The Palace Guard run-bys. It is so annoying to deal with these guys. They just kind of pop up all over your eco. He's raiding the wood line on the west. He's raiding the olive groves at the center of her base here, and Deepshine is just forced to respond to, you know, threats all over her economy here. Meanwhile, Ezra's regaining map control. He's decapping the sacred sites here. He's building keeps on them, and he's sort of securing up his position. He'll continue to kind of onion off the map until Deepshine has nowhere to go.
Yeah, and then also I think it's also partly the unit choices, the rally points here, just walking past the Palace Guards. I don't know why Deepshine is still going for the Limitani, because they at this point don't really do a whole lot for Deepshine. There's no cavalry anywhere on the field for Ezra, and Limitani just suck against the Palace guards. So it's yeah, I mean they're cheap. She has all the resources that she needs because she doesn't have any gold left. So a little bit of she doesn't get gold here, by the way, from the Grand Winery anyway. Doesn't really have any eco upgrades even, so that's not even fertilization. That's very painful. This gold ran out, and then she just lost access to these 12k, and that's about it. There's not really any more gold to be had. So yeah, it's cool to have some oil income, even though that has been severely hit here by Ezra. But without any gold, how do you get back from there?
Unfortunately, I don't think you do. And, if you rewind the tape 15 minutes ago, she had all the gold. Ezra was down to his last 3,000 or 4,000 that was safe in his base. He really needed this gold vein on the west side. And that was so critical for Deepshine to hold. But at this point, the recovery arc, I don't think there is one.
No.
Especially not against, a player of Ezra's caliber.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, Ezra will not let you get off that easily, and so another option that Deepshine could have used, but that should have, that would have been like 20 minutes ago, is set up a trade, because Byzantines also get oil in addition to the gold when they trade, and so that would also be a nice option to have a better oil income as well as gold income. And the trade post is very nicely positioned here, so just build a couple trade markets over here and then just trade. But then again, you also want to wall it off first, and it just, the setup is a little bit difficult to do if your opponent is just being so aggressive.
A little bit of a last-ditch effort here. Cannon's picking off the mangoes. And look at this, Ezra is just able to replenish. You see sort of a Congo line of palace guards, and those dudes are really moving. And they're able to get back to the front line, and you know what, doesn't matter how many of them die. They just, next man up.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you're looking at the income, 3,500 almost in food, more than 2,000 gold income per minute, and that is the GG. Deepshine cannot hold that any longer.
Yeah, that was well played. Deepshine just really, the first 25-30 minutes, really in control. But after that, it's sort of, yeah, you kind of see where it happened here on the military count. It sort of fell apart right around that 30-minute mark. And I think that's just where Ezra's experience with the late game really kind of, propelled him a little bit. He had 11 barracks, 8 archery ranges, and Deepshine was kind of sitting on 5 and 5, and the 5 that she had were all the way in the south corner, so units would come out, but it would take a long time for them to eventually get to the fights. So he was able to just replenish quicker and just trade out army after trade out army until, eventually you overwhelm, and that's exactly what Ezra did.
Yeah. Yeah, not to mention that the fights were way in favor for Ezra. So I don't even know if Ezra, like, besides this one fight where he had to hold his base, I don't, or maybe this one as well, but like other than that, like this fight was in favor for him, this was in favor, this was in favor, and so like most of the fights, especially like the longer the game went, were in favor for Ezra, and I think that's partly due to the unit composition. So very good early to mid game by Deepshine, and it looked good for her, and I was rooting for her, but Ezra, yeah, the experience just showed at the end, and the stronger eco at some point with all the farms going with next to the granaries. Yeah, difficult to make that work if you were not successful in the mid game to punish that.
Yeah, and it's kind of one of those things, right? Most games, especially in the current meta, don't go 45 minutes, don't go an hour.
Yeah.
So players don't always have the most experience. What do you do there? What's your unit comp gonna look like? And again, you have to play the games, unfortunately lose the games, and figure out what went wrong. And fix it next time. And Ezra just kind of showed that, he had the experience in those situations. But well played on both sides. I was really impressed with just kind of the way she handled that early in the mid game there, especially against a dominating Civ like China. China is really, really powerful at the moment.